Hello, it's
Wow, that was
me.
really good. There it is.
I've been wondering if, after all these years, you'd like to meet to go over everything. They say time's supposed to heal ya, but I ain't done much healing. Hello, can you hear me? I forgot the rest of the words.
You said a lot more than I remember. Okay, go grab some water and we'll get started.
Hello from the other side.
I don't know if either of you are better with foreign languages, but there is a bit in the second Portal where Wheatley, if you've played it, when Wheatley gets connected to the mainframe and realizes he can speak Spanish and says something in Spanish.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I need someone to do that line for the sound check.
Hold on a minute. I'm gonna pull it up for next session.
Because I can't speak Spanish. I'm horrible at different languages. But like, if someone who can do a different language wants to do that, oh, it'd be so good.
It's crazy. About the only thing is, if I'm not familiar with the word, I might put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. And,
That's fair.
The only problem with that is, that's the difference between...
Detracción de forma incorrecta. Por favor, consulte el manual.
Yeah.
You are using the translation software. Oh my god.
Have you never gotten that?
I never looked up what it meant. Hey, you are using this translation software incorrectly. Please read the manual.
It's my favorite line.
Oh my god. GLaDOS wasn't kidding. He's literally built to be an idiot.
It's such a good game.
My favorite bit from Portals 2 is the bit where he's like sitting in that one office talking to you, and then these birds attack him. He's like, birds!
What are we talking about right now?
Did you ever play Portal 2?
Yeah, it's a great game. Love it. Fun.
Wheatley.
Just Wheatley stuff.
Wheatley shenanigans.
You do.
He's the best character, best boy.
Such a good character. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Tales of Venthrall, where a bunch of us nerdy-ass weirdos play Dungeons and Dragons. Who would like to do a recap?
Nope.
Dwarves, crossbow, death, pug, fireball, collapse.
Did you say Pog?
I think she did.
Did you say Death Pog?
Fog, as in the cloud the mist.
Fog! Fog, not Pog.
Okay, but you weren't the only one who heard it, so
Fog.
yeah.
That was probably either my microphone or my pronunciation was inadequate.
See that? I just ran around the whole world.
I completely missed everything about that sentence.
All right, immerse me, DM. Send me on this fun, magical, and mystical journey.
I mean, you guys are the ones who are supposed to be doing recap right now, so
okay,
I will
so
once you remember what happened.
Checkmate.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z. I'm not doing that voice the whole time. We were in the one place with the caves and the snails and stuff, and we were hanging out, and we were very upset, and then Darian and I talked for a little bit, and then I made the trap in the cave, and then I went and chased a snail out, and the snail got stuck, and then it kept moving forward, and then these dudes showed up, and they were big assholes and smug and stuff, and so we killed them, and then we killed the snail, and then we killed the other snail, and then Darian destroyed the cave. And then we put the snail onto the cart, and we left, and we came back home, and we all chilled and relaxed a little bit, and the lady came over and gave us a cool shield and stuff, and yeah.
All right.
And Darian had an awkward conversation.
I pursued the survivor and caused a cave in.
Yeah, you killed an innocent bystander. That's always fun.
No,
And a bunch of And a bunch of baby snails.
I would argue that
Probably.
man was less than innocent.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
DM, you have to understand, I'm from California, where the number one rule is snitches get stitches. All right.
Yeah, you must understand. I'm from California, where everything's on fire all the time. I figured I'd just
Also
add the thing
true.
to it. As soon as
Everything's
it became
legal
on
in
fire, it became
Jersey.
the legal property of California.
He lied to us. He was fair game.
Did he lie to us?
No, the other way.
He didn't lie. He just,
Let me
lied to us. He
just
just gave us up.
make a few notes real quick. Okay.
To quote a friend of mine, Hobbit.
Oh no!
It's not my fault he was on fire.
You
be
cast
argued.
fireball. It is literally your fault, sir. Don't try to plead the Freddy.
No. I put his
You twiddled your
pants on
arcane
fire.
fingers at him, and he burst into flames. There's nothing about this that isn't your fault.
And
You were the one
waved
that
your
thought he was
magic
bad and
hands
poured
at
to
him, and
chase
he
him down the
inflamed
tunnel.
himself.
you see, there's a lot of intricate spellcasting that goes into casting fireball, so I can
Isn't it
verify
all-
that I am as good with my hands as I am.
Because it has verbal and
I
somatic
didn't
components.
do it first. I didn't do it first.
10 more HP.
I didn't do it first. Hey, Jacob, are you proud of me? I didn't do it first.
I don't care. That one was worth it. That one was worth it.
Do I get advantage on any sort of check or something? Maybe
No.
a level?
No. Wait, you're asking for advantage for being the least asshole-ish asshole right now?
Yes, look at me. This is me we're talking
Wait.
about.
Wait, how come he's the least? How is he the least? I have been sitting here petting my cat. I didn't even
Because
ask
that's
for
what he
special
thinks
favors.
he is. I was catering to his own delusions.
He was catering
Don't
to the
pander
audience.
to the chaos deity.
Oh, come on.
Oh, man.
I like it when people
But I
pander
like
to
the
me.
chaos deity.
That
Yeah,
was.
Screw
You
you.
pander to him. No,
Not
you're
gonna
married.
lie, that was
sir.
worth it. That was absolutely worth it. And then the other thing that the only other thing for Darian that happened in that session. Not true. Darian and Rin get along a little bit better now. There's been a slight conversation, not a heart to heart per se, but a conversation, a
And
discussion.
Understanding was
conversation that
had.
roasts weren't involved in.
Yeah, and didn't involve the cleric. I forget.
Correct.
Didn't involve the cleric wedging herself between the two. No, I don't like the phrasing of that sentence.
No, this is your fault. I'm forever calling her Wedge Daddy from now on. It's a reference that none of you will get, but it makes me laugh, so deal with it.
Okay.
I feel like none of us here know how to react to that one at this point, but I guess your point is taken.
If any of you watch Sea Nanners, you might understand it, but even then, it's somewhat of an arcane reference.
I don't even know what the word is you just said.
Sea Nanners?
I once upon a time thought I might try to show my parents the Ohari game because it's the only one I have recorded, so they can kind of
God.
understand
Oh, you poor
what I
You're
do.
welcome.
That dream is now shattered.
I hope you understand your fault.
Wedge Daddy.
You're welcome.
Correction. Daddy Darian was the first one to be said, so that predates
No,
it.
Daddy Darian wasn't even that bad because he
Big
is
Daddy
technically a
Darian.
father. My mother would not blink at that one.
You guys
Big
owe
Daddy
Ashley and me.
Darian.
That's not fair.
Wedge
Daddy
Daddy,
Darian?
however.
You can't stop me.
Anyways,
I'm built for an adult audience.
You're built for a very specific audience, that's for sure.
To say the least. And then Darian.
Sorry, Jacob. Please say words before I continue to railroad us off of the road.
okay.
And
Yeah.
then my mic is-
Rin and Liberty both had interesting experiences on the cart ride back to Darian's house.
Lemon and
Right.
blood.
Yes.
But unfortunately for all other characters, no one else knows.
Mhm.
They just had some interesting private moments separately.
Yep.
Which included a murdered cleaning lady.
can neither confirm nor deny until it
that's
comes
right.
up.
Lemons, because we all understood lemons. Let's see.
Lemons
what
and
else?
blood.
Lemons and blood. Very unique combination, to say the least. I keep
Yes,
trying
I
to
don't
rotate
know.
my camera, and I keep going the wrong direction with it.
Kind of glossed over, but I feel that it's important that we clarify that part of the conversation with Darian and Zephyr is the team has decided that Zephyr is in fact an adult, separate entity, and so we made sure he got a cut in our pay from the flail snail job, and then we got two things out of that. Besides everybody getting a solid bag of gold, Liberty now has new shield, and Rin now has a magical roofie.
Yeah. How did I forget about that in the last 10 minutes?
You had to
Please
say
tell
it,
me
didn't
it's in
you?
your equipment sheet.
It
You
is in my
had to
equipment
mention it, like really though. Like that was necessary for you.
I literally said I was glossed over, but I feel it's important that we include this. So yes,
I don't remember my bed being
Thank you.
messy.
Is there anything else that anyone else would like to add?
Darian had a conversation with his son, which was
Didn't go so
painful.
well.
Which was painful because that barbarian intelligence. It's a little on the low side.
wizard and barbarian don't speak the same language.
They
even when
really-
they're both-
I feel like it's more
Apparently.
that, but yes.
You needed to use more football metaphors.
Rin classified Darian as cerebral, and I'm gonna take that as a compliment and run with it because that's the nicest thing he's probably said about him.
That's probably for the best. I don't
even
know
to
if
his
your
face?
ego can take anymore.
And then Darian gets to have the same conversation with Rain because that hasn't happened yet.
Lol.
Right.
Also, for the sake of clarification, since that happened and then we went to the next day, that night Darian did start working on the lie with his friends in the backyard.
Yes.
Acquiring,
Actually, we can,
acquiring a barrel of lie, yes.
because nothing much happened in the next morning other than you guys gaining the new equipment, we can actually start there. Was there anything else that anyone wanted to do during that night? Nope. Okay.
Liberty spent the night at the shrine.
Chilling with the lad,
Right.
whose name I absolutely remember.
Right. You and Zephyr went shopping and bought
that's
him
one.
a great sword, if I remember correctly.
Long
No,
sword,
a long sword.
Yeah, I think so.
because he needed balance.
You wanted to get him a versatile weapon.
Darian has. Where are you putting the barrel of lie per?
You know where.
Fair enough. I assumed. I didn't want to ask.
Understandable.
Okay. You all eventually make night. Make. I am so not into words today. You guys eventually make it to rest. Waking up in the morning, Liberty, you do make it back to the manor just before the sun rises. As you all gather for a meal, the door is knocked upon and opened, and Yerk is there with the flail snail shield and the filter of love. I assume, Daria, you're the one opening the door for him, since it is your house.
Sure.
Okay. He'll say, good morning to all of you. May I come in, please?
Please, come.
Yorick, please come join us.
Wonderful. How are you all today?
I'm doing all right this morning. The tea is very good.
We are well. How
I
are
will
you?
take some.
How was your trip over? It's a bit of a distance. Yes?
I mean, a few miles, that is all. I have the items that were payment for the job well done. As well as, and he pulls from a pouch in his on the back of his belt and hands to you, Rin, a coin hung like a pendant on a chain.
All right, I'm getting mad Pirates of the Caribbean vibe. Am I going to turn into a zombie if I walk out in the moonlight?
Yes. No. Maybe. That's up to you.
You love to see it.
He hands it to you and says, Keeper Najin said that you requested clearance to be able to shop at the underground market.
Oh, this'll do.
Are we doing an accent for him now? Is that what I
do
heard?
an accent? Liz, okay, stop. Time out. I, Kel, have a bad habit of mixing language from many different cultures, and it bleeds into my characters sometimes.
I was just curious.
No, he only uses an accent when he has to be really nice.
Or when I have to differentiate my character more strongly from myself.
I.e. being really nice.
Hey, shut up.
Yerk will continue. If you would like, I would love to be able to show you the way into the market that coin will get you into.
We have room for one more?
Technically, the whole group is welcome.
Marvelous. Is Zafir in the room?
He is in the office at the moment.
Is the office door open or closed?
There is no door.
Okay.
On this side of the office.
Damn it. Okay. I suppose I'll act like a normal person. Rin walks over to the office and leans his head and is like, hey, come on. Going on a trip.
Oh, okay. He resheaths the sword that he was beginning to sharpen. And
what kind of grind are you putting on that blade?
A short one.
Oh, we're gonna have to go over a lot with you.
It is my first day.
That's fine.
Hitches it over his shoulder and begins to head out with you.
Okay. I'm ready to go. Any of you all coming? Did your mic jump down a toilet?
Yeah, you
No.
got a lot quieter.
Oh, you're back.
Sorry, but I spoke quieter, I think.
You're
Okay.
back.
There's a problem. I would be interested in seeing a new corner of the city.
Yeah, sure. Darian, is my mic on? My mic is on, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're
He
here.
was, he was smiling, and I thought he was laughing at me.
I am.
was trying not to interrupt.
Yes. Darian will join. I have some other business to tend to while I'm in town, so I may split off, but Rain and I will accompany you, yes. At least for a while.
Order. Has Yerk met Rain?
Yeah, he came for breakfast the other day.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
He had porridge with us.
They actually got along really well. I remember now. That was fun.
Cinnamon rolls.
Cinnamon roll.
Rain, I'm not certain if she will be allowed into. Since she is not technically a working member with Heaven's Tower, I don't know if we can get her in. I might be able to pull some strings if you want to bring her.
You can say she's a servant or something. Bag carrier. I know that we have plenty of use for those.
I don't know if that will make it easier.
It is fine. Rain, would you mind meeting me on the west side of town later today, around noon-ish.
I should be able to. Is there a specific area that you would like me to meet you?
I could pick you up from the shop.
I'll meet you at the shop then. I was going to go there soon anyways.
Okay. Point of question.
Get
What
there and
day of the
Rain's
week
been
is it?
kidnapped.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. Okay.
First session note. Today is Tuesday.
Dear diary, today was Tuesday.
That's it. That's all that's in it.
So can anyone tell me?
Dear diary, today is Tuesday. ... And then like halfway down the page, dear diary, today is Thursday. And it actually has like an actual entry.
Something tells me this isn't as amusing as it's become to us.
Yeah.
That's D&D.
We're all tired.
Fuck you, it's funny.
Maybe it's because we survived the plague and time has no meaning for us anymore. So
Make me dab on y'all. Keep on track. Keep on track, or I'll start dabbing.
You don't have a
Camera's
camera.
off. Your camera's
I don't
off.
need a camera. I'll dab so hard you'll feel it.
He's got a point. Don't threaten him.
I work with middle schoolers. Dab doesn't scare me.
Good.
Well then, are we ready to head out?
Gladly.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Well, follow me. Yerk will lead you out of the manor and begin taking you towards the city. It takes about an hour or so to get to the city walls themselves. Relatively bustling, although more likely it's bustling at one of the other gates than the western one, the western one does tend to only draw in the crowd from the residential areas. Entering into the city, the smells of people and spices and animals and trade are potent, to say the least. You move this way and that through streets, passing large groups, massive stores. At one point in time, you actually come close to almost passing the Ramtook Book Emporium, as it is definitely named.
You went ahead and named it anyway. Wow. Okay.
No, I didn't.
Welcome to the Dollar Tree.
Listen here, you little shit.
Eventually, coming closer and closer to the middle part of the city, Yerk does take you all into a what would be considered by most to be a dive bar of coffee shops.
So it's the Leaky Cauldron, but a coffee shop.
Pretty much. Entering in, the layout is not open, offering up several different small nooks and corners for people of more dramatic leaning to brood in. A halfling gentleman sits on a stool behind the counter and observes you all coming in.
Darian's following the group, so.
Okay.
I believe, really, this is your area of expertise.
What are you talking about? I've never been here.
Yerk will.
The one with the medallion.
This is fine. I have mine as well, so you will have to present yours. He sits at the bar.
Oh, sorry. No. Yurik, it's okay. I've got this. Rin walks into the room and holds up his medallion and say, "I belong here."
Darian has begun covering his face.
Liberty is already very grateful that, like, the moment they left the house, she had the scarf up, and like, all that's visible is her eyes.
And Rin looks over his shoulder and says, "Next time, don't assume roles."
Can I retcon that? Can I say that Darian took the visual cue from Liberty about halfway there, and started covering his face.
Darian knows that he's going to a seedy place. I'll allow it.
Okay, thank you.
Like the moment we pass by his family bookstore, he's like, don't want to take it.
The halfling looks Rin up and down, a little confused, before Yerk passes and sits at the bar. He crosses his hands, wrists over each other on the bar, and produces out of one hand a medallion similar to Rin's. I come for your special brew. The halfling picks up the coin, looks at it, bites down on it for a second, then reaches behind him and pulls what appeared at once to be a cabinet, but is more like a chute. The top hitches forward while the bottom stays resolutely in the wall and drops the medallion in it. You hear the sound of metal on metal scraping that very quickly disappears as the medallion most likely falls out of ear range before the chute is closed. And for your friends, Yerk kind of gestures to you, Rin, and motions to have you do what he did.
Resisting the sort of impulse, the sort of native impulse that he always has to mock everyone's sort of rituals and everything. He copies the motions in the phrase and sort of flips the coin at the bartender.
He'll catch it, look it over, drop it in the chute as well. New blood, huh?
Yeah, you could say that.
Well, let me show you my special brew.
Yep,
Maybe.
love that. Really liked the phrasing there.
He steps out from behind the...
Seems that he loves the code phrase as much as you do.
It's very safe to say. He steps out from behind the desk where he was serving and leads you all into a closed off room from the rest of the cafe. Looking around, there are some crates, some very obvious storage for what you would find in a bar / coffee shop in this area. Before he reaches down and his hand seems to disappear into the floor for a second. Rin, you would recognize an obvious illusion. Before pulling up, he reveals a trap door. Beyond, you can see a ladder that descends for about 20 to 25 feet into a torch-lit hallway.
Fancy.
Yerk will lead the group and head on down himself. As you guys make it down to the bottom, you see a hallway that leads for about 40 feet before it is ended in a door made of iron. Two humanoid individuals sit on either side of the door. One is a dwarf and the other is a human. They appear to be well armed and both looking your direction. The dwarf stands and all right, and reaches to what appears to be a similarly carved chute from what was up at the top. Pulling it out, it is actually the drawer instead of the chute, and pulls out two medallions, looks at them. Looks like you're clear. And hands the coins back to Yerk, who hands the coin of Rin back to him. Go ahead, open the door. The other individual opens the door for you, and you are immediately hit with the echoing sounds of many voices in a carved hallway. The smell that hits you is that of musty spice and what could almost be described as I don't want to say a farm, but it wouldn't be too dissimilar to a farm. That smell of refuse and animals, but also of large amounts of plants. Stepping through, you find yourselves in a large marketplace. Hallways divert this way and that to your left, right, and ahead of you. And throughout the hallways, every few feet is a small little alcove where you can see a patron of a store, some items that they're selling, and a few guards every now and then, as well as quite a few shady individuals. There are probably immediately at least 60 people that you can see.
Given the number of shady individuals in our immediate vicinity, despite the fact that we're supposedly allowed to be here, Liberty's just going to gently tap Darian off the shoulder and give him vigilant blessing.
Give me what?
Vigilant blessing.
It gives you advantage on your next initiative roll. Next part is that there's no time limit for expiration.
Okay, thank you kindly.
You're welcome.
So Yerk stretches his hand out and says, "Welcome to the underground market." What would you all like to do in the underground market?
That is a good question.
Poison.
With an initial... he wants the poisons. With an initial glance, DM, do I see any faces that I recognize?
Go ahead and make perception check.
Okay, first roll of the night.
Not
I did not warm up.
not
these
so
dice.
innocent then, are we? Got some shady dealings going on over
I
there?
wasn't always Eric.
I'm aware of this. I just like to call back to it. DM, is
For
this
our
what you were...
listeners at home, that is a natural one, which
Okay.
would bring my total to a 4.
There are a lot of people in here, and due to the nature of where you are, a decent amount of them do try to at least obscure their identities, if not fully hide them. So you're not sure.
There's also a really nice potted plant over here, so that's with that.
Yes, there is.
I'm surprised you
careful, it
noticed
bites.
the plant. Befitting a natural one. That makes sense. DM, would I happen to be able to find the thing that I was looking for down here? Or is that tied in at all?
You would have to make an investigation check.
I can do this. I hope I can do this. Investigation.
Although I do believe before we go there, Rin, you're looking for poisons, you said?
Jeez.
All right, go ahead and make an investigation check of your
As an
own.
assassin, I find myself sorely lacking in that department.
Fair enough.
This displeases me. Let's see, Rin Oram, perception check. Perception. Roll the dice, Gerald. 12.
12? It takes you a little while. There are no very openly poison practitioners, but you know your craft enough to know that they probably wouldn't just sell poisons. Eventually, you're able to find a small little alcove with an inscription carved into the stone above that says Gurkhan's Filters. Inside you see a human woman dressed in moderately nice clothes, behind a tall, wide counter. Around her, lanterns are hanging from the ceiling, and the light from them is glistening off of vials and bottles and filters that are all lining shelves. She leans on her elbows on the counter with a mortar and pestle, and you can hear the stone clicking against stone as she works ingredients.
Howdy.
Good day to you.
You got poisons?
I may have one or two. What are you looking for?
Nightshade, cyanide. Just quick and dirty stuff. You don't need anything elegant.
Simple poisons, I understand. She reaches back and takes a few vials off of a holder, stretching them out on the counter. There are about 5 vials all in all, 3 of which are very small, with a semi putrid green looking liquid on the inside. One is a dark, almost navy blue, a little larger than the other 2, and the last one is completely black and appears to almost be tar. As she lays it out, it very sluggishly begins to make its way to the tip. These are a few of my most commonly purchased.
I see. Rin will uncork each one and kind of sniff it.
Okay. For the smaller ones, go ahead and make a not thieves' tools, but poisoner's kit check.
Okay. Poisoner's kit.
While you do that, I need to grab my book.
So I've got proficiency in that. What kind of check would that be, though? I've never actually done a tool check before.
So you have proficiency in it, so you just roll. For this, it would be an intelligence check plus your proficiency.
Don't worry, Kel. We know you're a tool.
Oh, I'm glad someone does. I've done a brilliant job of fooling the rest of the world. +3, that'll be 17.
That's a
okay. So
no,
the 3 smaller vials, popping the cork and smelling them, you get a hint of different animal toxins and venoms. You'd probably be familiar with a snake venom, and you can at least smell the hint of that in there. They would probably just be basic, apply to a blade, get some extra damage, maybe an extra condition, but that's probably not a thing. The medium-sized one is a bit more enhanced and potent. You could probably actually get this as a contact, and would probably end up causing a bit more lasting damage. Whereas the last one, the larger one with the tar-like substance, you can barely smell it, and you can, as you take a sniff, you can feel the hairs on the inside of your nose just singe immediately. Make a nature check.
A nature check? I love those.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, Hobbit gets it. 17.
17? There's something strangely draconic about the scent. Do you know that there are some different dragon-like creatures that do produce toxic venoms? I believe that dang it, what are they called? The ones that'll turn you to stone when you stare at them.
Gorgon? Basilisk?
Basilisk. Basilisks. They produce a toxin that's kind of similar to this. Wyverns can produce a toxin as well. And you've probably at least run into a pseudo dragon, and while this is definitely not a pseudo dragon, it definitely still has that like weird I don't know how to describe the scent. Almost like asphalt.
Interesting.
She also will say that the smaller vials are 50 gold, where the medium vial is 200, and then the larger one is 500.
Holy shit. How much gold do I have?
Not that much.
Yeah, I was gonna say not that. Yeah, I've got 125.
You have to feed the brazier.
Don't talk about it.
Was it payment or sacrifice that it requests?
Tribute.
Tribute. That's right. It's tribute.
What do I have to trade?
Are you putting on a blanket, Hobbit?
My legs were cold. Are you
Do you
judging?
accept trades?
No, I'm just hot.
What do you have?
I set one of the poison crossbow bolts on the counter.
She picks it up, twists it in her hands, takes a sniff, takes a very small dab on her finger, and kind of just works it in between her finger and thumb. Well, by the bolt that is Venzoli make, they're not bad with poisons. How many do you have?
5.
For 5 of those, I'd probably give you 50 gold.
He points at the contact poison, the medium vial. Can I get that one for
The medium vial?
175?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Persuasion. +7, you say? That's a 19. Sell me your shit.
Will part of your payment be the bolts?
He nods.
I accept.
He nods at her and takes the vial off the counter and tucks it in his bag.
All right. She'll take the bolts and take the money as long as you give it, which I assume you do.
Yep.
You have a new poison. For now, it has a few different stats from it.
You're gonna have to give me a second. I have to remember how to make custom items.
I'm
manage
going to give
equipment.
you a real item, and then later
okay,
I'm
okay.
going to give you the actual stats.
Works for me.
For now, it is a potion of poison. It has different properties from that, but for now, that's the closest thing I got.
Works for me.
While he's doing that, Liberty is looking for.
Well, no, Liberty is going to hold on because it is now Darian's turn, who has been very patiently waiting his turn after rolling a 9.
That's right. Sorry, I forgot. You already said you were looking for something.
Darian, you look around for a little while, and it's hard to pick out magic practitioners in this area. A lot of the names of the shops tend to be kind of
Vague.
probably on purpose.
No,
But
honestly.
eventually you do find a small stall at a T section in between hallways. A halfling male, brown hair, sunburnt skin, sits scribbling on a writing desk, and around him you see crystals and orbs and wands that are on display, as well as several different spell scrolls.
Okay. Coming to the T intersection, as it were, Darian walks a little bit past the stall and like makes like 3/4 of the way and like looks over his shoulder, notices, and turns around and approaches it. Fuck, now I have to use dialogue.
Yep, that's how the game works.
Welcome to shopping episodes.
Hello. What do you sell here?
Give me 1 second. He takes out a protractor. And we're good. What can I do you for?
I'm No. Stop that, Hobbit. You stop that. I'm looking for crystals. It looks like you might have some. I'm not quite sure if you have what I'm looking for. I'm looking for spell storing. Something to hold on to a charge.
Storing. Something. You're talking like
Stored
something
energy.
that you cast as stored energy or stored spells, because those are two different things.
Well, it sounds like you know what I'm talking about. So what do you have?
Neither, but I can get you what you need.
Okay. DM, I have no idea how to describe without meta knowledge what I'm looking for.
Well, specifically because we had this conversation and I kind of left you questioning what you wanted. From what I remember, do you want something that gives you an extra spell slot of that level, or do you want something that you can cast a spell into that it can recast it later?
The latter.
The latter. Okay. So what you're looking for is a ring of spells, spell soaring. I can see what I can do. It might take me a week, might take me 2.
Okay. A friend of mine, he told me a story one time. I don't quite remember how it went, but a friend of a friend had these sort of little crystals, and they were very similar, but they worked a little differently. Perhaps you know what I'm talking about?
Well, I mean, there's a pearl of power where just you're able to tap into the weave and kind of regain some energy.
Wasn't quite like that. Story of a story, friend of a friend. Let me know what you find. I can come back in a week. DM, would I be allowed?
Don't go yet. And he pulls back and pulls out a sheet of paper. I need you to fill out this form so I can get in contact with you.
Okay. Because I was gonna ask if I was able to get back in here at a later time.
You can check off the mailing list if you want.
Oh, that's my newsletter. I mean, I sometimes say some interesting stuff.
All right. And Darian pours over the document and starts filling it out.
Okay.
While he's filling it out, he idly asks, like, what else do you sell?
Well, mostly I am a spell scroll practitioner. I write a decent amount of scrolls for people of a wizarding sort.
Discerning individuals.
Okay.
Sexually inclined.
Computer. Hello. Yeesh. That's
We
that's
can
going,
hear
that's
you.
going.
Are you okay?
That's good. My screen froze for a minute, just make sure everything's still working. Concerned.
Are you looking for something in particular I can help you with, other than the spell storing power stuff?
Do you have a scroll of remove curse by chance?
This is why I have the spells pulled up. Ba-da-ba.
It's a third level spell.
It is
I
a
don't know.
wizard spell, correct?
It is. I was going down the list. It's like, what would possibly be possible and maybe handy for later.
He scoots his stool back and hops off and rummages through a few things behind the counter for a few minutes. Yep. Nope. There we go. He slaps a tightly bound scroll down on the counter. Remove curse. I mean, it won't remove every curse, but it's something.
Yeah. How much would that run?
It's no true love's kiss, but
Please tell me True Love's Kiss is written on the scroll.
No, it's
They've
literally
they've got stupid
it's just
coffee shop code
lipstick.
words.
It's a material component. It's a material component of the spell.
Heck yeah.
Okay, y'all are gonna regret that when like several sessions down the road, someone's got a curse and Liberty has that spell available. Darian doesn't have a spell scroll or whatever, and I have to use remove curse, and the DM has to remember this moment.
Remember this moment, DM.
Hopefully not.
Because we all know it's written, it's gonna get cursed.
The way you use this is you hold the scroll up, and just kind of through the paper.
Mwah.
I hate
It's like those special masks
I
they
hate
give you
both of
for
you.
CPR.
Oh,
So
I hate both of you.
that runs you at about 350
Silver?
gold. What are you talking about?
Are you sure you should be in this place?
Darian,
Hey, you're just lucky I don't deal in Electrum like all those snooty college officials.
Oh my
Shit.
god.
Worst.
Darian kind of looks, weighs his bag a little bit. He's like, maybe next time I move down.
I accept trades.
I don't know what I would have on me at the moment of value.
Well, if you can't afford a spell scroll like this, you probably won't be able to afford to bring a spell storing.
Well, how much would the spring of spell storing would be?
I do believe that I'll have to talk to my guy, but that can run anywhere from 500 to 5,000 gold pieces.
It's quite a large range.
It depends on where I can get it.
I'm trying to get to my inventory at the moment. Equipment. Yeah, I definitely don't have three. I definitely don't have 500 gold, to say the least. Well, fuck. I doubt we're gonna go on another adventure worth 200 gold in the meantime. Well,
Sorry, I smacked my mic by accident.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't have that much like liquid funds, I could always like try to find a cheaper alternative. It might not be as safe, but I mean,
do it.
you said,
Already finished his purchases and I'm creeping behind Darian.
Do it, coward.
do it, you bitch. Well, I'll tell you what. You messaged me back in a week or two.
will you? Mm-hmm.
What?
Nothing. Jacob was being snarky.
I missed something.
I'm dying.
You said Jacob was being snarky. I'm very confused.
Never mind. Keep
You
keep
said,
going.
I'll tell you what, and he said, oh, will you?
Oh.
Dead.
I was just gonna bug him until someone explained.
little bit. You can message me back in a week or two. Whatever you find, I will look at.
That does. He pulls your the form that he gave you to fill out and makes a few notes at the bottom. Folds it up.
Referring to the alternatives.
Right, yeah. Anything else I can help you with?
I think that'll be all.
All right. Have a good day. He pulls the scroll of remove curse, puts that back, and turns back to working on the spell scroll that he was drawing up.
Darian starts to walk away, starts going down like the next row of booths with not like an eye roll, but like a yeesh.
These people.
Meanwhile,
right?
Liberty, what are you looking for?
Is there anyone selling jewelry or gemstones?
Looking around for a little while, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Oof. Okay. We're gonna give you guys one more chance before we set. Okay, 17.
17? Wow, you guys are all rolling 17.
That's weird. Well, I rolled a 16 plus 1. Like, we also
looking
get to modifier
around,
to this.
there are a few. Most of them are of questionable reputability. The one that catches your eye the quickest is a sign that hangs slightly into the long cut hallway. The sign has no words on it, but it depicts 3 faces, 2 in profile on either side and one front facing. The small alcove, as you begin to approach, immediately catches your eye with the glint of polished metal and gemstone, and looking in, a elven woman with sun-darkened skin and copper hair bends over a wooden figure that she carves. The implements and items across the wall and on small shelves and tables around her are probably almost 200 idols to different gods. Quite a few of them do have gemstones either placed in them or are made from gemstones. Most of the, for the player's knowledge, most of the descriptions for the deities, pendants, and stuff like that, there are multiple versions of.
Okay. Right, I'll go inside, take a look around.
She does look up and recognizes someone has come in, but doesn't say anything, and then goes back to her carving.
Okay. I'll take a look at what she's got for Armada first.
Okay. There are a few different versions, most of which are made of silver or chrome-like metals. One is a crescent moon that sits on a large pedestal, standing about a foot to a foot and a half. Another is one that you would have been familiar with from earlier years before the old sultan died and the statues around the city had begun being torn down, is the statuette of what was fondly from some of the citizens in that area referred to as the mother, a female figure draped in long, luscious robes, holds her hand as if pouring water from it. A crescent moon, almost like a halo, extends from the back of her shoulders around the back of her head, and the face is mostly covered with a veil. Yeah. In her hands, in the palm of them, is laid a few carats diamond.
This is very beautiful. Did you make this one yourself?
I did. Several years ago.
How much to buy it?
It's been a few years. I suppose I should probably get it sold. I have the price of materials and labor have brought it up to around 650 gold.
Oh, I see. I'm afraid I did not prepare quite so much fun for myself today. Do you mostly make images like this, or do you do any other sort of jewel or metal work?
Most of my work is to undo what has been done to our city. So I do focus mostly on the religious relics and artifacts that I can remember.
That makes sense. In that case, how much for a story? You seem like someone who has quite a few.
I'm afraid those are not for sale, but if you have questions, I will see what I can answer.
Mm. Mm. To find the right question is something of wisdom that I would hope to attain someday, but do you have a favorite god or goddess?
From time to time, I have thought I had. With every new statue and idol that I create, it is hard not to fall in love with each of them again. The one I am currently working on is one I have gotten very few requests for. This, and she holds up what appears to be almost totem-like. Is that right? Yeah, totem. So a cylindrical, well-carved center with different creatures that have been carved into it. The top is a large, almost canary-like beak with a pair of wings that extend from the back. This is a version of Atiel.
Yes.
And she goes back to carving.
Were you a priest of any sort before these sort of things were forbidden?
I never served in the temple, no.
What is
Was
your
there
name,
something
if I
in
may?
particular that you were looking for?
Well, I was first captured by the materials. I'm looking for some silver or certain gems that can be to have them worked into powder. But I have a fondness for Amalda myself, and was further drawn in by her image.
The crescent moon is a bit cheaper if you're looking for an idol that is a bit more reasonable. That one I have priced at 65 gold pieces. But for shaved materials, I, in my work, actually cultivate quite a few. And she reaches back to a large barrel or set of barrels standing and beginning to dig around in a few. You said you were looking for powdered silver?
Yes.
She reaches in and picks up a bag that would fit pretty easily in the palm of your hand. I know that it is useful still, though I rarely have anyone who comes to buy it. She lays it on a table in the center of the room. That is probably about 80 gold pieces worth.
Take that, yes. This is exactly what I'm looking for today.
Wonderful. The trade is made.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
That's it. Just thank you. I must go with you and leave.